Today I'll be talking about following sternal precautions and dressing procedures. Sternal precautions are meant for people who may have had open chest surgery. So we want to make sure that that incision that is going down the midline remains intact. This person may have had open heart surgery, surgery on their lungs, or anything in the upper chest cavity. So there are several different general precautions we want to follow, as well as dressing precautions that we'll review. So some of the basic precautions that are going to go into the sternal precautions is that you don't want to lift anything that's over 5 pounds. You also want to be sure to be careful moving from one position to the next. So if you are moving from being in a horizontal position in the bed and you need to sit up, you want to be sure that you are moving in a really cohesive, slow movements. And then also you want to be sure to just cover yourself and breathe slowly, because we just don't want to have that open up in any manner. So some of the dressing precautions that you would take with sternal precautions is that you do not want to lift your arms over 90 degrees. So you can't do this if you were to be putting a shirt on. You can't use shoulder flexion and move up in this direction. You can bring them to 90 degrees right here. So if you were to be putting a shirt on, you can move your arms to about here. And then also you cannot reach backwards. So if you're putting on a button-up shirt, you can't reach back like you would to find the armhole. You also can't put any pressure or weight on your chest. So there's no pressing down or using your chest muscles. You also want to be very cohesive with your movements. So if one arm's doing one thing, you want the other arm to be doing the same thing to prevent yourself from stretching those chest muscles. So today I'm going to be going through the dressing precautions with a 27-year-old male who has recently had open heart surgery. So this is my client, William. I've been seeing him for about 3 weeks since his open heart surgery. And we are going to be going over his sternal precautions and dressing procedures. So how are you doing today?
I'm doing okay.
Okay, you ready to go over the sternal precautions and dressing?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so first what we're going to do, it's called return demonstration. So I will actually do the task first and then you'll repeat. But just to kind of go over what your sternal precautions are, is you cannot lift your arms over 90 degrees. Okay. The reason for this is we don't want that incision to open up at all. We want to make sure that it stays intact so it heals properly. You can't push back. You actually can't do what you just did either. Okay. There's no pushing down because that uses your pectoral muscles. All right.
Okay.
So if you need to reposition yourself, if you need my assistance, let me know. But just be sure to be really slow and cautious of your movements during this exercise. So what we'll do first is I'll go ahead and put this on. So we can start with undressing and then we'll have you put it back on. Okay, so first I'm going to have you unbutton your shirt. Be sure to keep your elbows down and go in a fairly slow pace. We don't want you to go too fast because we want you to practice energy conservation. So we'll just slow movements, elbows pointed down, unbutton your shirt. Perfect. Okay, next you're going to reach over your shoulder and you're going to shrug this off. I'll do it first. You do it after.
All right.
Okay. No reaching back. Just use this hand like this to take the other off.
Okay.
Okay. And just let me know if you need some help.
A little more difficult than it looks.
It is. Okay. You're going to pull your arm forward. Yeah, you don't want to. Okay. And then you're going to actually reach over. Nope. You're going to reach over with that one. Yes. And then pull that down. There you go. See, the habit we have is to pull back and reach off. So it's just kind of a different way of doing things.
Okay.
So the next thing, I'll do it first. You're going to, everything, just remember, everything is in the front of the body that I'm doing. So you're going to pull this on right here.
Okay.
With this arm. See how my arm is crossed over? And then rather than reaching back like we normally do, you're going to, it might take you a little bit, you're going to get this shirt to where you can reach it over your shoulder.
Okay.
See how I did that? And then you can move your head down if you need to. So that's going to keep your chest like that. Okay, and then from the front of your body, you put your arm in. Okay?
All right.
So I'll help you if you need it. There you go. So your elbow's still at 90 degrees. That's perfect.
Now I'll reach over with this arm.
Cross over. I know it takes a little bit more time, but there's no rush in doing it. There you go. Remember you. Perfect. Good job. Okay. Do you have any questions about what we did today at all?
No.
No? Okay. I know it might have been a little bit difficult, but just practice. Practice is going to help as much as you can. So I'd just like to thank you for coming today, and we'll continue to practice this in the next session.
Okay.
Okay. So as a recap, William did have a little bit of difficulty trying the new technique. He's not used to not reaching back to put his shirt on, so it is different putting it on in the front of your body to make sure you don't open up that chest cavity. But with practice, he is going to do a great job with this. Also, I did start with the undressing technique because that follows the developmental sequence, and wanted to make sure that he could get his shirt off first before we practice putting it back on. So that was the reason for that. So that concludes the total session. Thank you for tuning in.